Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining for another exciting webinar that we have ahead. Um, Today, we have a very interesting topic. We will be talking about elevating the customer experience in the freight industry. So we have a very packed agenda, and today I have the pleasure to do it with my colleague and with a partner from GoFreight that will be presenting very soon. But yeah, grab your coffee. Thanks every logistic professional for joining. And yeah, please leave your comments if you have any doubt during the webinar, any insight that you would like to share with us, or questions. Please, you can share in the comments, and we will answering in the end. Okay. So yeah, we are living a brief of intro about the topic. We are living in a completely digital world, right? In terms of business and experiences that we have, uh, we are used to buying online. We want instant information, transparent information. Uh, we buy flight tickets, we buy shoes online, we order meal online, and at the end we expect the same into B2B world, right? We expect the same when it comes to freight. We don't want to be dealing with emails. We don't want to be dealing with a lot of information in a manual way. Uh, and that's why we brought this topic today. Shipper expectations in the freight forwarding industry has been changing a lot. Shippers expect more visibility, and now with AI tools in the market and with more integrations, they expect faster answers. They expect search service providers, and for that we want to discuss a bit about that and see what's the future and what are the challenges that freight forwarders are having when it comes to implementing these tools. So for that, for today, I have the pleasure, as I mentioned, to do it with my colleague Tarek and with Trenton, who is the founder and the CEO at GoFreight. So I would like to invite them today to join. Uh, hey,
Hello,
Trenton,
everyone.
Tarek,
Hello, Sebastian.
how are you doing? All good?
Everything is fine
Very
so
How
far.
is
good.
super? How is everything in Barcelona, Tarek?
Yeah, good weather, so I cannot complain.
Yeah, I'm freezing here in Argentina. I need to go back to Europe.
You're most welcome.
Yeah, yeah.
A
And
very
you,
good
Trenton?
weather. A very good weather in here in Los Angeles, California.
Yeah, good, good. We are heading there soon too for some events. But yeah, thanks for joining, guys. We have a very interesting topic, as I was saying. So first, I would like maybe to have more insights about you. So maybe start with you, Trenton. And I know that you are originally from Taipei, right? And have a background in engineer, and then you got into the freight forward industry. I mean, interesting journey for sure. So it would be great to know more a bit about you and the vision of the industry.
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Trenton Chen. I'm the co-founder and CEO at GoFreight. So I grew up in Taiwan. After college, I came to the United States for my engineering degrees in graduate school. And so my major was electrical engineering. I was once TSMC for my role there as a principal engineer for 3 years. Then I actually came to this industry because I got to know a lot of friends in the freight industry when I was studying in the United States, because many Asian people are here for supply chain and for logistics. That's why how I got to know them. And then I co-founded GoFreight with my co-founders in 2017. So GoFreight is an all-in-one software for freight forwarders in the US and Canada. Um, it's also called as Transportation Management System, TMS, or Freight Management System, FMS. So we handle everything for a freight forwarder, from inquiry quoting to all the way to balance sheet. And our goal is to partner with our customers to help them win more business, help them ship more freight without adding more people. Thank you.
Thanks, Trenton. And you are now mentioning the US. You have office also in Taiwan. You have a team distributed uh, and operating. You mentioned in these different countries, right?
Yes, we do have offices in both US and in Taiwan.
Amazing, super. Thanks for joining and excited to have your insights about the industry. And yeah, we also have Tarek, who is a great colleague. Have been pushing a lot together for the past years. So yeah, it would be great, Tarek, if you share a bit about you. You have a big background in the industry, shipping line, and then well, several years already together. A lot of insights in the freight
Yeah,
take industry.
absolutely. So yeah, I'm from Barcelona. So related to my background, I joined CMA like in 2012, I think, 2011. Yeah. I spent like 10 years mainly in sales, but I've been working like in different departments like financial and booking and customer service. Later as an inside sales, outside sales. So I've been like in all the process in the shipping line. 9 years in Barcelona and 1 year in the headquarters, which I had like the opportunity to know how it was, like the shipping line in the core of the headquarters. So after that, all of a sudden, Sebastian called me to join Cargofive. So here I joined like 4 years ago as a head of sales. So yes, I'm trying to have the freight forwarders to digitize all the procurement and pricing process. That's the main objective that we have nowadays.
Yeah, it's been an interesting roller coaster of the startup world. That Trenton, of course, is very aware too. So yeah, thanks guys again. As I was saying at the beginning, the main topic today is to and maybe to kick off and to start here. As I was saying, the expectations of the customers have been changing a lot, right? And freight forwarders are adapting to these expectations, right? But I would like to start maybe with you have a lot of insights. You talk with a lot of customers every day, so maybe to understand more what the freight forwarders, what the freight customers, sorry, expect from their freight forwarder today, and mostly, I would like to bring here how that expectation has changed in the past 5 years. Uh, Maybe to start with you, Trenton, what's your insight here?
Yes, I think for sure over the past few years, we've seen a clear shift in what shipper customers expect. It's no longer just about getting a quote or a tracking number. Today's, I think customers want clarity, speed, and most important, control. They expect updates before they ask. They expect documents to be delivered automatically. And they expect exceptions to be flagged and explained, not buried. So in short, I think the modern customer expects a proactive and guided experiences, not a reactive one.
Definitely, and I think that's also like a lot of tools have changed in the past few years, and that's a topic that supports this change for the freight forwarders. Uh, Tarek, you mentioned you've been at the CMA discussing a lot with shippers and freight forwarders, and now 40 years almost already with Cargofive. So, what you seen also in these last few years in terms of changing in expectation from the shipper and also freight forwarders adapting to that change?
Yeah, I think over the past years, the expectation of freight customers, particularly as the shippers, has shifted dramatically. So traditional freight forwarders was a relationship-driven industry with the stability and price were paramount, right? The communication was mostly manually and fragmented. And today, however, we are in a new era shaped by digitalization. So they need more transparency. Like you mentioned before, now people are used to buy everything online. They have transparency. They can see everything in real time. So that's what they expect, right? Real time visibility, instant quote to have everything right now, transparent communication, and everything digitized, right? So I think like we are in an era that they are changing a lot. We have to be very, very fast adapting ourselves into this new era, to be honest.
100% agree. And we mentioned different industries, but what do you think? Maybe Trenton, this one for you. Like, which ones are the experience that have influenced it the most, or if you have to point a specific industry that is driving customers to say, "Hey, I have this experience and I want these also on the freight forwarding side." Where do you think that has more impact?
I think it all started with Amazon, probably, right? So Amazon taught the like B2B buyers are also B2C users, like they are consumers in their daily life. So Amazon taught them to expect real-time tracking and proactive notifications, even you buy just a book, $10 book online. And then it kind of evolved so that we got more and more technology company recently provide superior customer experiences, for example, Uber or Airbnb. So Uber show the consumers they could monitor movement on the map and give instant feedback or do all the type of personalization. I want to receive my food order in my front door, not the back door, right? So I want you to leave on the door without knocking the door, or I want you to have a handshake with me. So it's like about personalizations. You can all config all those your expectation in the small app they provided. So that shift to the B2B buyers because they already don't know what it looks like. So it turns out to be there. Like I order a container for a couple of $1,000, but that's the minimum requirement I want to have because I can have the same requirement with a $10 order from Uber or from Amazon. And then I think it's all because of COVID. A lot of investment have been made in this industry. So we see a lot of good products over there to try to demonstrate like how can the consumer technology could be evolved into B2B world as well. So there are more and more digital native forwarders. They try to provide very good applications to the B2B buyers. So I think that actually accelerated the entire shift of the expectations from the B2B buyers.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's. And I remember, like a few years ago, even before Cargofive, when the first digital freight forwarders appeared in the market. At the beginning, maybe nobody believed that much into that, but then with the real good cases, everyone started pushing into that direction when they see the value. And after those early adopters that we have at the beginning, comes a big majority that started to push into that way, and it's becoming almost mandatory nowadays to have that infrastructure, right? And you mentioned Amazon, Airbnb, Uber, and all these companies are supported by a huge infrastructure of tools, a huge infrastructure of tech that is like their layer that they use in order to provide that customer experience, right? So I want to bring that point into the conversation, and maybe bring one point that Tarek mentioned related to quoting, to rate automation. Maybe divide these in two parts, right? Like how freight forwarders are leveraging different tools to bring this experience that is needed for the shippers, and maybe going into you, Tarek, with the customers that you have been discussing, mostly about quoting and what is the impact of these tools into rate management and quoting when it comes to the experience of the shippers.
Sure. First of all, I have to say, like, technology is no longer just about to be efficient, but it's about giving like a better customer experience at the scale, like Trenton mentioned before with Amazon, Uber, and so on. So they have or they must to deliver this kind of customer experience, right? So regarding what we have right now in this landscape, first of all, as you mentioned, Sebastian, rate automation and quoting platforms. So tools like Cargofive and others are helping freight forwarders to generate quotes immediately, removing the manual bottlenecks that used to delay the deals, right? This has a direct impact on conversion. So faster quoting means shippers can move faster with their own decisions, and you are more likely to win the booking. So you can build loyalty with the shippers. Secondly, I would say, as I mentioned earlier, have tracking and visibility tools. So it reduces the ambiguity with the customers and they can feel more confident. Um, what else? They can just automate as well documentation handling. So nowadays we can see platforms that can extract all the data from PDF, Excels, and so on, and just send it to the ERPs or TMS. So no need just to do manual things or avoiding errors with this tool, right? And the last one, I would say self-service portals or communication portals, uh, where the modern freight forwarders they can just deliver a portal where the shipper, sorry, they can handle everything, right? So they have end-to-end solution, so they can just code by themselves, can upload documentations, they can have visibility of the containers, and so on and so forth. So I think that's the main things that they should have, like the freight forwarders, is to deliver a better customer experience to the shippers mainly.
100% agree. I think that's to add there. I think in the next few years, if you are not able to deliver like a simple quotation in real time, like you will be out of the game, basically, right?
Yeah.
I think like now there is more space, maybe 1 2 years, but it will become very soon a time where if you don't answer in real time, you will lose the opportunity, right? And but beyond quoting, Tarek mentioned a bit of document automation, different parts of the shipment life cycle, right? And what do you think also here, Trenton, that you have also a lot of experience here, uh, that freight forwarders can leverage tools to improve the entire customer experience, but apart from that sales process, like mostly when it comes to operations, you close a shipment, so where they can leverage tools to improve that part. What do you think?
Yes, of course. I think basically the product of a freight forwarder is the service, right? So I think the quoting inquiry and quoting is just the beginning of the services. And then it comes to the real shipment. So I always think about the entire customer journey from inquiry, quotation, and then it's the booking, and then it's a real shipment, and then there are like exception handling, there are tracking visibility, there are documentation, and then reporting and billing and payment. I think this is the entire customer journey of the single shipment being quoted and booked all the way to the payment. And then they repeat the next shipment with the same customer journey again. So I really think that each of these steps is a moment where forwarders can either frustrate or differentiate.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, the touch point matters because usually a shipper may have 3 4 different vendors, so they can easily sense that differences. So
Agree.
I would say that there are 4 of the highest impact areas that we have seen so far. Number one, the most important one is exception handling. And number 2 is the document delivery. And number 3 is getting more and more important is the custom reporting. And number 4, I think it's just the very beginning of this era, but the communication preference is so important because not every single one's using the custom portal. right? They have to adapt into their current workflow. I think this is a huge difference between B2C and B2B, because that in B2B world, they have their own workflow. They have their manager to report to. So if you have just one vendor using a customer portal, it's hard for you just to use that vendor's customer portal for their shipments and jump back to all the shipments they're handling in general. So you need to adapt their workflow to provide better touch points or the way you communicate with them.
Yeah, I think you mentioned, I believe that when the shipment is going everything perfect, visibility is okay. But I think that one of the most important things is when things are not going well, right? And how the tools are supporting for those exception management and to improve when there is a problem, right? I think it become more relevant on those cases, right? And also one thing that you mentioned that we have seen is that um, we need to adapt, as you mentioned, to the tools or to the stacks or to the channels that the customers are using. And I believe that now with the new APIs layers that, for example, at Cargofive and GoFreight we are building, and also with AI, that is becoming simpler to standardize data and integrate into the systems. That is a super important focus that freight forwarders should have in order to take their service, as you mentioned, that is the core value that they are delivering, and how they can connect their data to the other layers of the other customers that are using different channels or different systems. So fully agree that that's like major and one of the things that will create the biggest impact in the industry. And I like a lot the content of the webinar, but I want to upgrade a bit. I want to make it more visual. So I always like to share more use cases and examples. So I would like to invite you both to share a bit of the products, tech that can improve the process, as we were saying. So maybe to start, you've been saying a lot, Tarek, of course, about the quoting and rate management that is our core. So what has been the experience that you have seen with our customers and with the industry with the tool? And if you can explain a bit about the value that Cargofive offers.
Yeah, in the end, the sector is demanding that. So Cargofive show a platform like this one. So we are making a search from Barcelona to Shanghai. Yeah. So here you can just select the departure date. So here you can select now or the future, and you can select the equipment. You can select multiple ones, and you can change even the quantity or the weight if you wish. When you click on search, Cargofive will display two kinds of sources, a spreadsheet that you upload or API connection that we have. You can just filter freight in or not. You can just filter here per prices or even per time. So you can just have an accurate search. And here, if you want, you can just order for best price or lowest transit time or integration first. It's up to you. And later here, you have like an overview of the market prices, right? So you can click on view details and you will have like the breakdown of all the rates. So you can see the freight, origin charge, and destination charges. If you go to the schedules, you have additional information about the vessels and all the included charges that you have here. So now it's time just to create a quote. You can select one shipping line or multiple and create a quote. So now here you have to fill in the information. So you can see the kind of cargo. You can select FAK. You can select the company that you want to quote to. And here now we can just select the validity if you want to show it or not. And you can select the Incoterm if you wish. And now below, we can see the terms and conditions. So you can set up a specific sentence for the terms and conditions. Now we can move forward to the ocean freight. So we can see the ocean freight and all the surcharges related to the ocean freight. And now we can just make a rule for the ocean freight. So for example, now we can just create a rule that we have established before where I can add a 10% profit for this quote. So we can select it and we can apply it, and automatically Cargofive will show you the profit. So 10%, 3.660 US dollars. Now we can go to the origin charge. So now, instead of create a rule, we can just add manually the sales price. So we can add 250 for each container, and below we can see the profit. Same we can do for destination charges. So you can add more if you want. So you can go to add charges, you can add local charges or inland charges. So finally, we can see the summary cost. So we can see the cost price, sales price, and the profit that you have for the shipment. And now, if you want, you can just have like a preview of the PDF of the quote. You can just customize the quote. So you can just make details or total only. And now it's time just to revise all the PDF that you want to send to the shipper. And you can just download the PDF or copy a link and send it to the customer. So in this way is how Cargofive have freight forwarders to digitize all the pricing and procurement and in an efficient way.
Amazing, Tarek. Thanks for the insights. Also to add here, and one big change that we have seen within our web platform is that every day customers are pushing more to integrate this same flow that we just seen via API to other system, as also Trenton was mentioning, into their own channels, right? And the fact that now APIs and building endpoints is becoming easier, building tech is becoming easier. We are enabling different players to connect to every step that we've seen. Some customers want just the buying rates integrated into their system and then creating a quote in other system. Or maybe they want to build automations saying via API in an integrated way, I want to get the buying rates, the best transit time with 10% profit, and then input that into my operational system, right? So this is something that if we look a bit, of course, into the current state of the industry, is something that is becoming mandatory for every player, not just for Cargofive or for GoFreight, but at the end, every freight forwarder should push for that, right? But yeah, beyond quoting, beyond rate management, as we were saying, there are a lot of steps into the shipment life cycle. And I think that having a more visual part also from Trenton will be great. So maybe if you can share a bit about GoFreight and how the product is delivering value to the industry.
Our freight forwarder customers are using to increase their customer experience. You can see the shipment summary, the outstanding invoices, right in the dashboard section. And then if you click into the shipment list, you can see the CO2 emission data, each journey of the shipment. And then if you double click into the shipment details, you can see different single stage of the shipment journey. It's so lively updated. And then you have an invoice list. The shipper can even pay the invoice online with our online payment feature. Now here's a beautifully designed shipment details that you can use to configure different template, different Excel format for your customers. And once you determine the Excel format, you can even configure different what time, what frequency, or what email address each different customer want to receive. So that's the personalization I talked about. Each customer will receive different format in different time. And then here are some examples of their very positive feedback with our shipper customers that they love the detention overdue and the pickup notice list, for example.
Amazing, Trenton. Super clear, and I agree. At the end, this personalization layer is one of the key points for every customer. But what I would like to bring here, moving from the presentations and the product, is mostly where do you see that freight forwarders struggles because at the end a tool is a tool, and we can see freight forwarders taking 10x from the tools and others just 2x in terms of value, right? So where do you think that the freight forwarders are struggling to implement, or they fall short when it comes to tools implementing for customer experience improvement?
So most of freight forwarders still fall short in consistency, speed, and transparency, even if the operation is solid. So the experience often feels like fragmented. Um, I think that different people, they have different people, platforms, and they are not coordinated, which each part and between each people in the company. I think that they receive different information that they cannot translate to a normal language to the shipper. So they call it like, sometimes they call it like, as you know, like bunker fuel, back, booth, whatever. So the same like surcharge, they call it in a different ways. So it's like still fragmented, all this information. They are reactive, so customers have to chase updates rather to receive them. So the shippers must keep just requesting the updates to the freight forwarders. And I think that's still everything is manually, right? They have to send emails and spreadsheets and Excel files, attachments, and so on. So I think this is one of the main pain points that they have nowadays, the freight forwarders, and they are struggling a lot.
Yeah, and what do you think? And also, like to invite Trenton to this question. Uh, Apart from where do you think is struggle? What do you think there are the objections that the freight forwarders have? You know, like you come, you have a new customer. They know that they have this problem. They want to improve their customer experience. But what are the main blockers that you've seen when it comes to implementing a new tool to improve the experience of the shippers?
Yes, I probably talked to thousands of freight forwarders already. I think the one most common, um, most common thing I observed is that they most of them are still stuck in the reactive mode. But there are reasons for them to do so. I think the major reason that they're still stuck in the reactive mode is because that when they try to be proactive, usually without the tool, it means adding more people, right? Because you have to do everything manually. You have to create one more touch point with them. You have to send the customer report to customer A in different timing and a different customer B, customer C. So they have to add more people to do so. And that's actually create a lot of friction because usually you just don't have enough people on the team. You don't have resource to do so. So I think sometimes I observed, for example, there's a fear for them to give access to customer portal access to their customers, or they create automatic shipment reports to their customers because that they are afraid that their customer will have more requests once they receive that uh, the additional access to the shipments or create more value. But like business owners know that it's a great opportunity for your customer to talk to you because they need something else, right? It's about can you deliver that type of requirements without adding more people or with a more scalable way with a better tool. I think we're in an era that if you can really have a good tool, you can, like our slogan, you can really win more deals and ship more freight without adding more people. So it's about how you leverage the tool. So it's a very different concept. You don't really need to add more people by providing personalized services or touch points, but you need to learn how to use a good tool to do so. And sometimes if you send out those reports, even your customer don't ask for it, and you get feedback that, oh my God, what's this? I never seen a report like this. It's very helpful. But maybe I needed some adjustments, right? Then you can use our tool to do that adjustment by yourself easily, and their requests are delivered, and you are delighting your customer. You're really level up their experience in that level. So I think that's something we already found the reasons is because that usually they don't have enough resource on the team, so they are so afraid of uh, using a new technology or providing them more information because they have to learn how to handle those new requirements with the new system.
Just I will add
Yeah,
just something else, Sebastian here. Apart of fearing of losing personal touch, that I think that sometimes they feel that if they offer like a platform. I heard like in the industry, like sometimes they are fear of shipper just can go to the platform, see all the rates, and make it for their own to benchmark, and maybe they can take the rates, and later they can go to the competitors and show them the rates, right? So I think that's one of the fear that they face nowadays, because I heard like several times.
yeah. At the end, to add there, I think it's mostly about education and helping, because it's all about people, right? Helping them to get the most and understand the value. Uh, and for example, as you both were saying, like take out these misconception that they will lose personalization. It will be the opposite, right? That can help to be even more personalized and be more efficient uh, in real time, right? So at the end, it's more helping the freight forwarders, and we have seen that in terms of challenges uh, to learn and to understand the value of the tech, right? But but yeah, as the last point, um, as we are already 40 minutes and a very interesting conversation, I would like to bring maybe as last topic what we see in terms of the future, right? And it's always a question that I like to do. Maybe in two things. One, we've been discussing a lot about the different steps of the shipment cycle, different processes. So at the end, this data needs to be integrated into one layer. So what do we see, like the freight forwarders collaborating with different solutions, right? And with different processes. That's one, and more about the vision that we have for a truly end-to-end customer digital experience from the shipper using the freight forwarder service, right? So maybe those two topics: collaborative platforms and integrations, and the end-to-end visibility for the shipper, what we can expect in the future. Maybe, I don't know if Tarek or Trenton want to start.
I can take it. So we don't have a lot of time, so I'm gonna be short. But mainly, I think the API connectivity it's mandatory. It's funny because now when we speak to freight forwarders, it seems that now everyone knows an API, and it's mandatory to have the connection with their own system, right? And they push us towards to this connectivity. So I think that's one of the main topics, to have the connectivity with different systems, CRMs, ERPs, TMS, and so on. And something that I think for the end-to-end digital customer experience, I think that we are improving a lot in this industry. By the way, because we came from nothing, so anything that we add is going to be a big way just to go through. But one thing that I think that we have to improve for the end-to-end digital customer experience is to have like an instant quoting booking, because as we mentioned in the beginning, when you want to, let's say, buy something through Amazon, Uber, and so on, you can just click buy and you can just receive it in your home, right? But it doesn't happen with the freight forwarders. When they send the shipper quote to the shipper, and the shipper they want to book that, they cannot do the booking. So I think this is one of the main pain points that we have, but in the end we are offering like good end-to-end solutions, because we can just quote automatically. They have the real-time shipment connection for visibility for the containers, so they have like a seamless documentation flow as well. They have integration documentation via API and so on. But one of the main headaches that I see in this industry is the booking.
It's coming soon. Thanks, Tarek. What about you, Trenton? What do you think about these two topics?
I agree 100% on that instant self-service quotation process. And the next level is like one-click booking, of course. and that heavily rely on the infrastructure of the industry, but I think it's coming very soon. And then it's about live tracking with proactive alerts, exception notifications with the real solution provided, branded customer-specific customer portal, right? Customer reporting schedules, and online invoicing and payments. I think in short, most importantly, it all feels consistent, transparent, and personalized. So I think personalization is the key for how do we have the end-to-end digital customer experience.
Thanks, Trenton. Super interesting insight. Thanks, Tarek. It was a great event, and I appreciate all your thoughts. I would like to thank everyone also for joining. I hope that we can see everyone again in next events. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure, and yeah, see you soon. Have a good day.
Thank you. See you
This is
soon.
fun. Thank you.
Bye.